What's going on? So originally for the movie American Gigolo, the role that went to Lauren Hutton originally was going to be played by Debra Winger, but she got passed over. Pardon me. Debra Winger was really happening back then. I mean, she had done all these different movies. Um, you know, she worked with Richard Gere, obviously. You know, and Officer and a Gentleman. So she had already, it's interesting when you see how some of these roles could have reteamed some of the people up and, and so forth. And so this was pretty interesting that it would have been almost deja vu again had she gotten to do this in this particular role. Because I'm going to tell you about a co-star that she almost got to work with again coming up in the next one when I do this when I'm looking at these movies about people who audition or were passed over or turned down said roles. So this is interesting how small Hollywood really is, how the film industry really goes, and how you never know what's going to go on. But anyway, this was a huge movie. I don't know if she would necessarily how that role would have played out because it was completely different than when she did An Officer and a Gentleman, and so um, it was a different tone, a different feel. And I say this because she was in this role. Lauren Hutton's character had a kind of air about her, almost like she was floaty and kind of removed, but yet part of what was going on. And it was very cosmopolitan chic, but it was also kind of like aloof. It was a interesting role. I don't know if Deborah Winger would have necessarily how she would have fared with it, but I think Lauren Hutton did a great job with the role, starring with Richard Gere in the movie. It was quite an eye-rising film at that time. Once you read the details of it, for play, for stay, for way. Nowadays, this kind of movie, you don't have to even watch in the movies because it plays out before itself in Hollywood. But back then, it was actually in a movie, and it was very, dare I say, kind of scandalous, kind of, cutting edge for its time with a lot of interesting things going on. And so it's interesting when you look at it in totality of where we are, where we were then, and where we are now with it. So interesting movie to say the least. But Deborah Winger um, got skipped over for Lauren Hutton, and it's interesting. Lauren Hutton was a model, and so she had, Winger was come on the come up too. The thing about Deborah Winger is that she was almost the it woman for a minute as far as these with leading men these type of movies. So could have been another one, would have been an interesting situation, and then you just kind of like look at it in totality. So it all depends on how you look at it, but interesting movie to say the least. Interesting parts, interesting how it came to be, interesting, when you're looking at it and how you surmise it all and what have you. But it didn't happen for her. It went to Lauren Hutton. So anyway, let me know what you think about Deborah Winger not getting the role in American Gigolo. Do you think she could have portrayed that role that Lauren Hutton did, or do you think they made the right call? Because if you watch the movie, you're gonna notice a certain demeanor that Lauren Hutton had, and the chemistry of Richard Gere. Well, how strong it was or wasn't it? So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments. And I do respond, thank you, wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like and hit that membership, because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, and my peace.